Hello, everybody. Greetings on this beautiful Wednesday morning. I wanted to talk a little bit today about routines and how routines can actually benefit those of us who have anxiety, but also how it can be bad depending on how you use it. Recently, I talked about hobbies and how important having a hobby is. And I still stand by that. I really do believe that having a hobby, having something that gives us a creative outlet, is very, very therapeutic. But what about routines? I have routines. I get up in the morning, I have 2 cups of coffee, I edit some of my writing. And then I play some video games, and then I clean the house. But what happens when you run into these routines around anniversary times? They can be very hard to maintain. For instance, between the middle of August to probably the middle of November, I have a very hard time focusing on anything, because this is a very peak time for my anniversary dates. Usually from the time Elvis died to just after my dad's birthday, which was November 13th. So in August, when Elvis died, my mother had a massive mental breakdown. And then her birthday is September 26th, and mine is Halloween, and my dad's birthday is November 13th. So just that span of time makes it very hard for me to maintain my routines. And sometimes I'll just fall off the rail and not be able to function on those days. That's okay. Don't let anybody ever tell you how to function in your mental illness. If you are finding ways to function, and that's so important, those key words, functioning in your mental illness. If you can get up, if you can get out of bed, that is a huge accomplishment. For people who don't understand mental illness, just the sheer effort and fact of getting out of bed in the morning, they won't understand what kind of feat that is. If you can leave the bedroom on days where you're not going to be able to function, if you can get out of bed, if you can leave the bedroom, if you can make it to the living room, that is outstanding. And a lot of people just don't get it, how hard it can be to just function in your mental illness. And that's where routines come in. If you have a solid routine, it can carry you through your entire day. If you have a set schedule of things to do at very specific times, even if you miss something at let's say you put the laundry in at 11 o'clock. Okay, if you miss that mark, and let's say that you start preparing lunch at 12:30, okay? If you make it to making the lunch at 12:30, bravo. If you miss putting the laundry in at 11 o'clock, but you still make lunch, don't dwell. Try not to dwell. I'm a dweller. Try not to dwell on missing the laundry at 11 o'clock. Just go to the next thing. It's sort of like medication. If you miss your dose in the morning, still take it in the afternoon or the evening. It's okay. Just go to the next thing. Having a solid routine can be very therapeutic, but it can also be detrimental if you set certain routines in place that aren't therapeutic. When I play video games, I do so and think about stories that I'm writing. That's what I do at a very specific time of day. And that's what I do to help move my stories along. Because what I do is I play games that I've played many times before. Because I can do that without thinking. So my mind can start focusing on the story. But there was a time when I was playing the games to avoid thinking, where I was trying to avoid anything that had to deal with my childhood or my family. So it became detrimental. I wasn't getting any housework done, and I wasn't getting my stories written, and I wasn't doing anything functional. I would get out of bed, I would get my coffee, and then I would spend the entire day playing video games. So while having a routine is good, when you have routines where you're functioning, fantastic. Be careful about the routines where you're not functioning and you're rewarding yourself for not functioning. As long as it feels good, we'll do it more. But healing is painful, and healing is frustrating. But when you make strides to be better, that can be amazing. It can just be amazing. Don't dwell on the things that you can't do. Try not to. Try not to dwell on the things that you can't do. And focus on the things you can. Every little bit helps. And just remember that right now is not forever. Tomorrow may be different. Tomorrow you may be able to leave the house. Tomorrow you may be able to shower. Tomorrow you may actually be able to eat. Tomorrow you may not binge. Tomorrow you may not cut. Because right now is not forever. And right now does not determine how things will go tomorrow. It's all a process. And it takes time. I believe in you, even if you don't believe in you.